Hiranmai, can we do a check for live streaming? Just tell check for live streaming.
Yeah, check for live streaming. Does that help you, Gautam?
All good, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Shweta, can we begin?
We'll just wait for another 2 minutes exactly. It's 10:03. We'll wait for 2 more minutes and then we'll see a lot of them joining. So just 2 more minutes.
Yep, all right.
Yes, Hiran, you can start.
All right, thank you. A very good morning to all of you. I, Hiranmai Shankavaram, Assistant Professor of RVCA, am pleased to be hosting today's event, the farewell of batch 2015-2020, as well as the batch from the autonomous scheme. It is with great joy that I welcome each one of you, dear students, to appreciate your endeavors during your academic journey in architecture. I also welcome all parents who are joining us live on YouTube. It gives me immense pleasure to also welcome eminent architect and our guest for this event, Architect Krishna Rao Jaisen, our Principal Dr. O.P. Bhavne, Dean Professor Suresh Murthy, faculty and staff of RVCA. We would now officiate the program with an invocation song along with the digital lighting of the lamp. I invite our third semester student, Ms. Arpita Kota, for the same.
Good morning, everyone. Mahaganapatim manasa smarami Mahaganapatim manasa smarami Mahaganapatim Vashishtavamare Vandita Mahaganapatim Mahadeva Sutta Mahadeva सुता गुरु गुगनुता महादेव सुता गुरु गुगनुता मार कोटि प्रकाशं शान्तं मार कोटि प्रकाशं शान्तं महाकाव्य नाटकादे प्रिया महाकाव्य नाटकादे प्रिया महाकाव्य नाटकादे प्रिया मूषिक वाहनोदक प्रिय महाकाव्य नाटकादे प्रिय मूषिक वाहन मोदक प्रिय पप्प मग मरि सरि सनि स प मग म प దని सनि गम मरि सनि सनि प म ग मरि प मरि ग मरि रे स रि स स नि प म ग म सरि ग म म गणपतिम् अशिष्ट वामदेवादिवन्दितम गणपतिम् Thank you.
Thank you, Arpita. That was
Thank you,
beautiful. I would now request our beloved principal, Dr. Om Prakash Bhavne, to address the gathering.
Good morning, dear students, respected parents. At the outset, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to chief guest of today's function, renowned architect, Krishna Rao Jaising. Thank you, sir, for being with us and blessing the occasion. I think every auspicious event has a day, and I think for this particular program, 8th of October was destined to be the day on which we have the privilege of having you all on this platform. Dear students, very warm welcome to you all on this graduation day ceremony, and a very warm welcome to the parents also who have joined on this particular platform for this function. I think we all, the teachers, the management, the staff, we are very proud of hosting you today, and to congratulate you on congratulate you all on you all having accomplished this very important milestone of your life. I remember you all entered this campus in year 2015 as young boys and girls who had just passed out from the QC colleges. These 5 years have been a very great, wonderful learning experience. I would like to suppose that. I hope you all enjoyed your stay, your learning at RVCA. As an institution committed to imparting quality education to the budding architects, we have made a sincere efforts for the all-round development of you as a professional graduates. We provided you with the best of the teaching minds which are available in the campus. If I can name few, you had the privilege of being the students of professors like Professor Suresh Murthy, Anuradha Dinesh, Professor P.P. Sridhar Murthy, Professor P.R. Faniram Pingley, Anupriya, Professor Seema, and so on. Actually, I think these are the best minds which are available in which any educational institution could think of having, and RVCA has the privilege of having these teachers in their campus to provide the best possible education to the graduates who come with the high aspirations and expectations. I'm sure that we have come to your expectations. Not only that, as an architecture college, we always, it has been our thinking and also a fundamental premise of our education policy, that the architectural education is not complete without the meaningful engagement with the practicing architect. And we had the privilege, and you also had the privilege of having some of the best teaching minds from the profession also into your studios in the classroom. To name few, I think I may miss out many names, but I can say that we have Professor Di Melo, Dinesh Rao, Led Deepara, Arun Swaminathan, Senthil Das, Sandeep Sen, and many alike this one. And these are the people who are doing fantastic work in their respective field. But at the same time, these are the people who are academically inclined, and they are ready to share their expertise with the students. So we had the privilege of all this privilege of having all these practicing architect and making them available in your studios for your discussion and learning of architectural practice. Okay. Yes, today at the end of 5 years, we are not only well-shaped, well-trained graduates who are ready to serve the society and the profession, but at the same time, you are all also the responsible citizen of this country. Okay. Now, having completed the 5 years of architectural education, the question comes: what is next? I think now it is almost a year since then you have graduated. You might have certainly decided on the career path that you want to adopt. Okay. Now, the point here is that the architecture is a profession, and many times the parents come and ask me, "Oh, what about the career prospects? What about the jobs after my son or the daughter graduates?" So my humble reply to all the parents has been that yes, one thing I wanted to assure the parents and also to you is that, see, the career is bright, the future is bright for all architecture graduates. Okay. The profession of architecture has to do directly with the prosperity of the nation and the society. And let me tell you that in last couple of decades, India has emerged as one of the leading economy in the world, and it's what we call the GDP, the gross domestic product, has been increasing at the rate of almost 7 to 9%. This one. So spending power of the people has increased. The government has come out with the several infrastructural projects and schemes. So there's a lot of flow of funds which is taking place. You have a lot of central government funded projects, smart city and other infrastructure projects. A lot of funds are flowing. The purchasing power, the spending power of the people has been always on rise. Okay, so I think if the nation is doing economically well, consequently the profession of architecture will also certainly do well in the coming days. Okay, and more importantly, we are an integral part of the construction industry. India's construction industry is the third largest construction industry in the world, which is developing and growing at the rate of 12% per annum. So I think if the construction industry is doing well, certainly the architects are bound to do well. So what I would like to assure all of you that let us be optimistic, be patient. The bright career, bright future is awaiting us all. Okay, but unlike other professions, where sometimes we tend to compare, oh, my friends in the software are getting so much and we are getting so much, this one. But the point is that we have to keep in mind that we are all professionals, and every professional has to establish himself at gradual pace. And once the society starts recognizing you, I think then there's no end to it, and then only you have more and more work in your hand. Okay, so I think we have to, as a professional, we have to be patient and establishing ourselves gradually by taking the work very judiciously. Actually, in the sense that the testimony of your capabilities will be the work that put up the projects that you put up on the site, the projects that come up in the cities and the towns. So I think we should be wise in taking up the projects, selecting the project, take up the projects which provide you the opportunity to demonstrate your creativity and your capabilities. So that is something very important. Another thing, let me tell you that, as I told you, that yes, the profession, there is a much greater awareness about the profession as compared to maybe the 10 years back or 20 years back. There's people now very clear about the role of the architect and the contribution the architect can make to the build projects. So I was just going through some article published by some experts, and he was telling that if you look at the requirement of the architects in our society currently, we require almost 1 lakh architects per year. Actually, currently the schools are turning out only around 25,000 architects per year. So I think there is a huge demand. The only thing is that we have to very carefully decide where to work and where we should be starting our practice. The architecture profession has the great scope to establish itself in even the tier 2 cities. It is not that the people in metros and the big cities only they appreciate architecture and appreciate the role of architects, but I think that there is a great scope for us to establish ourselves as architects also in the tier 2 cities, the smaller towns. I think there's a lot of work is there and opportunities are awaiting. So one can think of it. It's not that we should all be thinking of concentrating or migrating to Bombay, Ahmedabad, Pune or Chennai only, but I think that other smaller cities also have a lot of opportunities available to us. So it's this one. And another important thing I would like to highlight here, that see, you all have a wonderful degree in your hand. It's Bachelor of Architecture, and it is up to you that how you utilize this qualification to best of your advantage. It's not necessary that you only enter into hardcore architectural practice, but yes, we have trained you as a designer, as a construction manager, as an interior designer. So there's a huge possibilities, huge avenues are available that you can start your career as interior designer, you can start your career as product designer, the project managers in the construction industry, and so on. So what I would like to assure you from this platform today, that dear students, you have a bright future awaiting you ahead. Okay, so be optimistic and give your best. Okay. The next thing comes that, okay, what are the other opportunities for us once we complete our masters? So I have seen that every year, say a good number of students, I think every year, I think maybe 12 to 15 students, they go abroad and they take admission for the master's program in some of the best universities in the world. Actually, I think I'm very proud that we have the students in some of the best universities, whether it is the universities are in USA or Europe or UK. We have the presence of our alumni in all these universities. Now you can take a call whether you want to go for masters immediately after completion of your graduation, as many of your classmates have done, or you make a careful move that maybe that you may give little time to yourself, decide which specialization or which kind of program will help you to further your career opportunities. So the approach should not be PG for the sake of PG, masters for the sake of masters. You have to be very carefully decide and choose that how this particular course, additional qualification, is going to help you to further your career prospects. And now another thing is that in couple of last 1 decade, we have also seen that the universities have come out with a lot of innovative masters program. Not that you have the conventional conservation, urban design, say town planning, regional planning, and those kind of courses. but a lot of new programs have been devised, and those courses are being offered. So choose carefully which particular program, which particular university you want to offer. Okay, you can take a call now, or you can work for some time to develop a better understanding before you take a call to go for the master's program. Okay. Now, another point I would like to add over here is that now you are all ambassador of RVCA. You are all alumni of RV College of Architecture, and wherever you go, you will be known as the alumni of this college. And as alma mater, we always wish that all our alumni are doing better and earning name and fame for themselves, because if they are getting name and fame, automatically the credit alma mater will also take. Oh yes, that he or she is our student. So as alma mater, we always wish that you all you all prosper well, you all reach greater and greater height in your career. And I wish that you reach a stage or a position from where you can start helping your alma mater. Maybe that the alma mater are great. The alumni are the great asset to the alma mater. Actually, we have seen they contribute a lot. They contribute a lot in the development and educational academic activity of their alma mater. And I wish that one day probably you all reach that position from where you can start helping the school where you got your primary education, the pre-university where you got your secondary education, and the RVCA where you graduated with your architecture qualification. So I wish that you all reach that point where your institution can look upon you for the returning gestures from all of you. Okay. Now coming to the batch, you people as a class of a batch of 2015-20. So I would like to honestly acknowledge and admit over here that you all were a very wonderful bunch of students. The college was privileged and honored to have you in our campus as our students. So and wonderful, actually. Each one of you had a great talent. Of course, a different kind of each child is gifted in a different way. So in your own way, each one of you were highly talented and gifted, actually. And it was privileged to have you all as our students in this campus. I think I can take a liberty of mentioning some of the students who have not only got the name and fame for themselves, but at the same time they brought accolade and fame to the college also. I would like to mention the name of Disha Dharesh, who won the Golden Merit Award for 7th Asian Contest for Architectural Rookies in 2018. That was the domestic level, India level competition. And further, she went ahead to represent India at Asian Contest of Architectural Rookies Award 2018, where the students from other Asian countries like China, Japan, Myanmar, Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, etc. Participated. So it was a great moment for us at all the people at RVCA that one of our students has represented the country at the international forum. I would also like to mention another talented student, Neha Harish, who got Asia Young Designer Award, winner of the gold medal at its finale, and then she also won the Sustainability Award at international finale. And she also earned the jury's commendation for her in the competition conducted by the Transparency 15. She also got the honorable mention for ACAD award and also the honorable mention in Mango Thesis Award. So her thesis work actually got a lot of accolade and recognition at different national and international platforms. I would also like to mention Kirtana Shekhar for her achievements. Her thesis was shortlisted for the zonal participation at the NIASA, and then also her thesis was taken up for the presentation and discussion at Kurlavarki Design Award Forum at Ahmedabad. So not all people get this opportunity to present their work at the prestigious university like CEPT. Then Vaishnavi was the student panelist for KVDF competition in 2021. I would like to mention Shreya Rao's name also here. The Shreya, she won the she was one among the top 10 theses selected for the zonal competition for the NIASA thesis competition. Okay, then her thesis also won the National Award for Excellence in Architectural Thesis 2020 and J.K. Young Architects Award that was given to the best architecture student for that particular year. So I think academically I can see that your batch has done extremely well, and not only that they got the name for themselves, but they also made the alma mater very proud of them. And not only in the academics, I can also mention the names that from your class, the students who have been very active in cultural and the sport activities. To name some of the students from your class, I would proudly say that Ratna Chandra, Neha, Shreya, then Pravani, Shravya, Mrinali Anand, Tamanna, Diksha, Abhinav, Abubakar, and many more actually. And see, I found that your batch was very active, not only in the academics, not only in this one cultural, but also they used to participate. I remember that many times the students will come and say that, sir, we want to conduct this sport event or that sport event. Then another important thing is that the college also earned the reputation and the name when our students earn the name, the admissions to some of these prestigious courses at leading universities. And it's a matter of great satisfaction and pride to see that a good number of your friends have opted for pursuing their master's courses in many of these leading foreign universities. To name few, I think Srishti has now taken admission at Frankfurt University in Applied Sciences, Germany. Devki Kesh, she's pursuing her MS Urban Design from Georgia Institute of Technology. Shreya Nambiar, she is in University of Michigan pursuing Urban Design program. Ketan Naidu is pursuing his Masters in Sustainable Environmental Design from AA London. Shreya S is pursuing her Masters in Environmental Psychology from the University of Surrey. Aditi Singh, she's pursuing her Masters in Urban Management and Development from Erasmus University Rotterdam. Trisha Agarwal is pursuing her Masters MS in Architectural Lighting Design from KTH Royal Institute of Technology. And Lakshmi, she is pursuing MS in Transportation System and Design from Art Center College of Design. So, and of course, there may be many more, which the names I could not gather from this one. But I can see that a good number of students, it's a remarkable number that students have proceeded for master's program, and these are some of the best universities in the country. So we are extremely proud of your achievement. I think you will all come out with the flying colors from these universities also. Before I now conclude, I would like to convey my special thanks and gratitude to all your parents who have supported us, and those who supported us, they have supported us in all our endeavors. They appreciated the teaching learning methodology or the system that we follow. Because without the active support of the parents, we would have not been at the place where we are now. So, and it has also been a journey for them. It is not that you only had a tough time or grilling time with this one. That's whenever you are working up to 2 o'clock in the night, your mother was also awakened. Okay, when you did well, they were all the part of your joyful moments. And sometimes when for some reason, if you are on the low, this one, they were always there to stand side of you and to encourage you all. So, dear parents, thank you for being us. Thank you for supporting us, and we look forward for your constant and continuous patronage. Okay, thank you very much, dear parents, once again. So, with this brief address of mine, I would like to conclude over here, and I congratulate each one of you once again on having earned your bachelor's program degree with flying colors. The bright future is awaiting all of you. We, as teachers, always there as your well-wisher. Whenever any guidance, any help, or any kind of support is required, we are always available. The institution will always be by the side of you whenever the need arises. Okay. So remain in touch with all of us, and of course we have a very active alumni association. I would I would request that you all be a member of the alumni. This one, that is the best way of to remain connected with the seniors, juniors, and the batches which are going to come in future. And yeah, remain connected to alma mater. Keep us posted what you are doing, where you are. We'll always be eager to learn from you and learn about your success stories. Okay. So may God bless you all. May God bless you all, and do well in future, and remain in touch with the alma mater. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. It is with great honor now that I introduce the chief guest for this event, an architect, professor, patron, and philosopher all in one. Professor Architect Krishnarao Jason is a celebrated name in the realm of architecture. Born in 1944, Architect Jason completed his studies in architecture in 1966. His thoughts, ideas, and convictions draw inspiration from the timeless novel The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. The compelling philosophy of Rand's writings, compounded with the teachings and encouragement of professors, mentors, and architectural geniuses, shaped Architect Jason's maverick approach and passion towards his calling. He established his firm, Jason Fountainhead, in 1970. Since its inception, Jason Fountainhead has conceptualized and created spaces in every arena of human life. With several award-winning designs to his credit, Architect Jason's kaleidoscope of work includes stadia, resorts, homes, educational institutions, commercial spaces, and much, much more. In addition to being the principal and founder of a multiple award-winning architectural firm, he is associated with several institutions and also sits on the boards of several colleges and schools of architecture across the country. Architect Jason has also authored and presented hundreds of papers and has been published in national and international media. He has made over 1,500 presentations on architecture and related areas on just as many forums across the country and abroad. As I read these beautifully articulated words from his first published book, I Do, I feel humbled and honored to have had this opportunity to introduce you, dear sir. I request you to grace the session and share your thoughts with our students.
Thank you very, very much, and namaskars to one and all for this fascinating invitation to RV College here. You bring me back lots of memories, and on this fascinating day when the fresh group, young, imaginative, innovative lots go out on the field. I'll never forget my first ever meeting in RV College, in its first batch. Some of the most fascinating students who are doing phenomenally well in the, not just in India and the subcontinent, but all over the international world, of not just architecture, but not just the built environment, but in many, many, many spaces. I'm really thrilled when they still keep in touch with me and say, "Do you remember me, sir?" do you put, and they are all grandparents now. I become like a super grandparent. Now, having taken up this invitation, honored to talk to you about what is architecture, where are we going, why are we going, who are we? I'll be very basic, pretend to be basic because it's not at all basic, it's not even fundamental, it's something very fusion. Architecture is not design. Most of us confuse ourselves to thinking design is architecture. Design comes under architecture. Architecture is beyond all this. It's a phenomenon. These 5 years, we have gone through the first 3 years, and the next 2 years, the first 2 years of learning the basics, second 2 years of exploration, and then going beyond into the realm of architecture. Now you're all young ones, so just think you've started the journey. You have just taken the first step to a fascinating future. I'm going to go through for the next 5 minutes, as time goes with me, as to my own explorations and participations in this environment. It is the only profession, not engineering, not medicine, not art, not any other profession, can come anywhere near architecture. They are all defined. They're all very definitive in their paths. They are technology-oriented or art-oriented. Architecture is the only profession that fuses both to a level beyond the imagination of every individual. You very rarely find two architects dressed alike, or walking alike, thinking alike. Very, very rare, almost impossible. Whereas in the other professions, you will find them uniform. You know an answer, that answer is subtitled or put against by the other person. Bhavik sir took you through a big journey. He solved a lot of things which I wanted to say, but he's taken me through the details of the journey. So I will go to the abstractions and then certain other parts of the details. What is the opportunity of being an architect? I want you all to learn one thing. I may contradict certain things which you have learned. Now, having passed out of the School of Architecture, the College of Architecture, the Institute of Architecture, now learn to unlearn what you learned in the last 5 years. That is the biggest learning aspect taught to me by a great philosopher. Jason, learn to unlearn. Because only when you learn to totally unlearn, you start grasping the future of your life. And once the future of your life opens up in this great profession, you will find the imagination that looks around. It's unbelievable. First of all, you must understand the environment, the entire earth or the entire universe doesn't really matter if there is no architect. But once the architect steps in, it changes. You are the only profession that can change the direction of the space. Nobody else can. We are not ruled by function, we are not ruled by form, we are ruled or trained, gone through by the 5 senses and the 5 elements. When they start fusing together, they become a philosophy of design. And remember, the artist makes it for himself. The technologist understands somebody else and does something, whereas the architect's imagination and innovation is absolutely fascinating. He has to bring from somewhere something, somewhere else, it doesn't exist, and then give it to somebody else, because he's the only profession who has to create an environment of space. It is not just in the field of the built environment. I'll go through the various things. I've had the privilege of interacting with architects all over the world, especially on this earth. Maybe in the future, you will be meeting them on the moon or in the Mars, which I'm very confident in the next 5-10 years, there will be lots going up. The other day, I was watching the IPL match and another match and a cricket match. One of them looked very familiar. I think then I found he was an architect, one of the finest players in the IPL cricket and our test playing thing. I was amazed. He said, "So don't you remember giving a talk to him?" Somehow I met him somewhere and it happened. Then the other day, I couldn't find my car, so I took an auto rickshaw. After some time, he said, "Can I talk to you?" The driver talked. I said, "You talked excellent English." He turned around. I said, "You look familiar." He said, "Sir, you taught me architecture." I was an architect. I said, "Then why are you driving an auto rickshaw?" So you taught us that architecture is everywhere. And I found the thrill of driving and experiencing spaces wherever I go in the environment is unbelievable. I had a good practice. And I said, "Did you not get practice?" He said, "I had a very good practice. But I found searching these spaces and finding new elements in small streets, small corners, different types of people, talking and dialoguing is taking me to dimensions beyond any of my thinking." I will also tell you a number of people. I met an income tax officer and commissioner who was an architect. And I found a top level medical doctor who did architecture, very top person. He said, "Architecture helped me do my medicine and the understanding of patients much better." Then I found artists, cinema artists, dramatists, then musicians. I keep looking at this. Then the media has a huge number of artists. In fact, the media is such a large space for you young architects to get into. It's an unbelievable, the world of journalism, the TV, the interactive media spaces is unbelievable. Sports arenas and spaces. Tourism, not just as a tourist guide to a place or something. To even understand the place and talk architecture in front of people is amazing, because you are the only person who understands why the temple is there or why the building is there, what heritage is, what it is. And then when the tourist comes and talks to you, the interaction becomes very, very, very deep. I learned a lot when I met Buckminster Fuller. First time, I didn't know who he was, but I met him as a tourist operator. Because some department said, "You lack somebody." I said, "Can you go and meet this person who's sitting in the airport?" So I went and met him in the airport. Then I realized after the geodesic dome and all he talked about, it changed my life to structures. It changed my life to way of looking at spaces. But I went there as a tourist guide to meet him. Similarly, I met Koenigsberg. Similarly, I met top architects as a tourist guide. Amazing where it happens. That's why I said, don't think this is the only profession that can take you. When I meet dancers and ballet dancers, and the other day I was talking to another lady, said, "How are you?" I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I am a Kathakali dancer." Unbelievable. Famous. And architecture helped me to balance, because when you taught us, along with K. Iyengar, about the balance of dance of Shiva and the other things, and then we learned from that, and I shifted to dancing so much that I learned so much of dancing. Then when I met musicians, architects are great musicians. The silence of spaces is unbelievable. It is, even now after this talk with you people, I'm going to a place for a beautiful restaurant. I was surprised when the owner of the restaurant, that's why I'm going again to meet him, he comes to me and said, "The restaurant," I said, "It's a lovely restaurant. Very nicely run, very good food, everything." "Yes, sir, I'm now not just the owner, I'm also the chef." I said, "What, are you not practicing?" "No, sir, I own this place. I'm a fascinating person. I love this place. And because I'm an architect, I know how to seat people, how to put people, how to look at the landscape, how people understand communication, everything. And then I learned cooking. I learned much more in that depth. And I thought that was the only place till I met some international hotels where architects are there behind the bar, behind service, behind areas. Your top man in Tatas is an architect. Look at the business science he runs. Unbelievable. You go anywhere to heritage sites, you will find them. The other area that India or the subcontinent is expanding and growing, like I said earlier, is we are short of billions of houses, homes, spaces of work. It doesn't mean that you have to be an architect to design those spaces. And you have to, no, you have to find the space. All of yesterday, I was with two young architects going to the villages. There was a very nice point he touched. That has been my point of future perspective of architecture production in various categories. Is not the urban cities. Urban cities will look after itself. In fact, I call them chaos cities, order and chaos, chaos in order to go. Go to third and fourth level villages. That's beautiful. And believe it or not, they understand architecture. My projects now, in spite of my age, the way I love doing some work on directly through my young architects and myself that meeting are all the third and fourth level villages. They understand this much better. And believe it or not, every one of them, without us putting it on the map or putting anybody, everyone won not just national awards, international awards, without we submitting the project. Somebody has said, this house exists in this place, this club exists in this place. We asked them who built, oh, there's somebody from Bangalore who came with some youngsters and built it. And now, those villages, with their veshtis and the overall ones, come and sit in front of me, sir. I said, why do you want this? Yesterday, one lady walked on, a farmer lady, cutting with a chopping thing. Sir, I want a community. She talked in English to me and said, I want a community center. I thought, why does she talk English? She said, she knew the word community center. People of rural city want to get out of the cities. She made it enable, I will translate the Kannada in English here because most of it from various categories. She simply said, you people are fed up with cities, the urban factor. You want to come out. I want to provide them that space. I want to show them what a village is, what a place is. But I can't do it. I understood, I tried myself. I understood I need an architect. I need, so somehow suggested they came, sat and went literally on the floor and pulled me out there. I went and climbed those hills and mountains. And I realized they know much more about it. Unfortunately, engineering, which is civil engineering, the Builders Association, I'll be blunt because I'm also a member of the Builders Association, they destroy architecture. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Show me one animal, bird, or tree that totally imitates the previous plant. Even the same breed, every time it builds, it's so individualistic in its new tree or a new branch or its new butterfly or its new bird or new thing, and it flies. Whereas the bad architects, which are the engineers, I call them engineers. And don't mind because I'm part of the ACC. ACC also gave me an award last month again. They'll shout at me tomorrow, but it doesn't matter. I keep telling them and they still call me in. That, they say, you people haven't taught us, which is very true. Architecture should understand the individuality of the human being. The individuality of the human brain, that's why I love the word psychology. We believe in human behavior. You take away human behavior and psychology, the environment dies. It just goes. The five senses and the five elements, well, this you shift to your dancing spaces, your musical spaces, or whatever you want, you will find something happening. Right? Then you're talking about various other things. I talked to you about sports, journalism, TV programs, media, various aspects. Now, more than 100 projects or more are at your command. I met another very senior politician, also with a very good architect, and he is now on go-to level. He understands the housing issues and problems much better. I met them with a great man, the tall big politician. He said, you're an architect, sir. I said, yes, sir, I did art. Now, if he becomes housing minister, he will understand our problems better. If he becomes an urban minister, he'll understand problems better. Transportation system. So what I would advise, or just, I won't advise in the manner of driving you, I'll just say, imagine you're now suddenly dropped from the sky into an absolutely imaginative space where you don't know, it's just darkness or it's light. Total light and total darkness are alike. Very few people understand. In the total light, you can't see anything. In total darkness, also you can't see anything. That is when creativity happens. In that darkness of light, or the light of creativity happens in an unbelievable manner. But that only the discipline of the architect can understand. The artist can paint for himself or herself. The technical can follow something else. The artist alone has the imagination of which direction to take, what to take, how to take. We were looking at some mountains. We were looking at some old 5,000-year-old architecture. This subcontinent has unbelievable past heritage, which very, very few people have really adventured and addressed. Unbelievable. You should go in. If you go in to the deep mountains and things and then walk inside, you will find a village house or a farm outside. You start looking at it. You will find unbelievable spaces, imaginative spaces. Now, what you do is transform that art through technology into present. Today, there is no shortage of materials in technology. There is no shortage of what you call as facilities. It's only the shortage of imagination. And only the architecture profession can bring imagination fused into living lives. This, to me, is one of the biggest aspects of things. And don't worry about awards and coming first. I never came first. I never asked for an award. Literally every award in this country and this world of South America, USA, have been dumped on my office. Don't come first. You know, my advice is to everybody is don't come first. The moment you come first, there are 100 people crowding around. Don't. It's better to be away in your own language, in your own space. Now I've touched another very soft chord called language. Language is communication. You just can't learn A, B, C, D in one language, and then there are hundreds of languages, which and everyone has an alphabet. Learning alphabets in any language does not communicate. And you can't learn all the languages either. You must know your master of your language. And then you must make the letters become words, and words communicate to you. How do they communicate? By becoming a meaningful thing. In your space, in your language of architecture, you must be able to put your elements and senses together to communicate to the people or to your client or whoever it is, make him understand. One of the biggest mistakes most architects make, the client wants this. The wife wants this. The daughter wants this. Just look at it properly. Why did they come to you if they want it and go? All they have to do is go to a maestri or an engineer and build it. Why did they come to you? They came to you because they think you will contribute and add some value which they cannot understand directly. The only way they can communicate is, I want a library, I have 10,000 books. But when you look at his library and his 10,000 books and then say, can I translate it into my way of looking at it? He looks, but his 10,000 books have to be communicated. And you start working out something else happens to that space of learning. He then initially, well, no, but I wanted a bookshelf. Then you tell him it's the books that talk to you. Something else happens. That transformation happens. There is something that goes, like recently we finished a village house for somebody, not as an architect, as an advisor to that place. He had a lot of cows. He said, that is a cow shed. I said, those cows are beautiful. They are your family. He said, yes, but we need a cow shed. I said, why don't we have the cows in the house? He looked at me as if I was mad. I said, you came to me to look at your place in a different way. So we started, when he was away, I started looking at the cows, and literally some of my youngsters said, my boss has gone mad, because I was talking to the cow, to the bull. What does this cow want? What does this bull want? What does he or she look at spaces? This happens every time in your life. And when you start communicating with this, you can communicate with the bird, you can communicate with the butterfly, you can communicate with the bee, you can communicate to even plants, and then even finally to the built materials of elements, like the texture of the wall, the texture of the stone. Just don't buy anything or take anything which a supplier gives. He just is a manufacturer. He has no idea what he's manufacturing. I always repeat this, I'll tell you again this, you can be selling a windows or anything. What is a window? Look at that space and then understand what is it. Just because one fellow comes up and says that we are making windows. I said, you are not making windows. You are just joining some material and making a square and giving it. You just go, sell me a material and just disappear. Next time he comes, the window to me becomes a wall, or it becomes a floor, or it becomes something else. Because I use the imagination to transform it to something else. This happens in all the things, and then you become a dancer, you become a museum, you become something else. The profession is unbelievable. It takes you to areas and things. Now you can ask me another question. How economically, financially is it viable? To be very frank, it's a long journey. He touched it. I also want to touch it. The other day I was sitting in my cottage, my place, and three youngsters drove up in their fascinating car. I was looking at the car. I said, who is this nice, expensive car? Great car. And then suddenly it stopped in front of my cottage, and then they got it, sir, you are architect Jason. I said, yes, I've never seen them before. Can we come and talk to you? He said, what do these top rich super youngsters want? They walked in and said, come, welcome. I like the car you're driving. I also used to drive some cars like this when I was young. Those functions are different. But they came in and said, so we want some guidance. We want some interaction with you. I said, why? So believe it or not, all three of us are graduates of architecture, but joined other things like IT firms. They offer huge, IT firms love architects. The top persons are good friends of mine. People who run top IT firms are very good friends of mine. And they say, Jason, if you have any architect interested, just send them to me. I want them. But then I said, you may want them, should they be yours? Luckily, these three also came, very rich, very powerful. So we have worked 5 or 7 years in this profession of IT, information technology, and other allied professions at the time. But we are not happy. So what do you mean you're not happy? You make money, you got a car, you got a house, you got everything, you're showing your strength. I said, I'm not content. I said, why? I studied architecture and I realized I missed something very philosophical, very voluminous. Very some time. I want to start architecture. I said, you have lost the direction. Architecture is a profession where you have to learn, unlearn, to learn, unlearn, to learn, continue. Yes, sir, precisely, you want to unlearn. Then you, I said, you have all the physical comforts. Yes, sir, but no mental comfort. We want. And believe it or not, I was also talking when counselor people say, oh, they're not paying interns properly, they're not paying. I don't pay my interns, they pay me. Otherwise, they don't come, they learn. Don't the college collect money? You want to learn. And these three of them, we've got another group, so we will come and facilitate, we will build the space, we'll buy the space, whatever you want. We want you to come with a few more and interact with us. We're not interested in Council of Architecture, we're not interested in School of Architecture, whatever it is. We have now beyond 26, 30 years old, we are married, we're 35. We want to now really do architecture. And there were top students in the architecture. They became top. That's why I'm saying the direction of architectural profession is unbelievable. One of them has now bought 100 acres of land somewhere and is creating a neighborhood. Another one, I will even tell you, see some of the top people in software industry, minted course. Quietly go and sit with them. All they're looking at, can you get us another 100 acres here, 50 acres here? And I said, you're minted money. And said, no, sir, we want to create spaces that make meaning. And these are not even architects. These are different people. You look at them. They are your clients. To various things. It is not just that you should go and design building, even designing a road. I have fun looking at the highway. People have no clue of how to design a highway road. The one that's collecting the whole country, there's 5 roads. Whenever I drive, I just smile. I said, what's it doing? Because engineers build roads, but where does the water go? Look at every underpass up here, because no architect was involved. Look at the old flyovers, no architect was involved. Where does the water go? Flows down, slips and falls. They should bring architects into every field of human life. Then you understand. You're asking me this. I was in a very top school of architecture, but before the COVID thing happened, I was just sitting outside. When somebody saw me outside, I was sitting to the undergraduates, were talking to them. When some senior people said, what are you doing here? I said, no, I just came to meet the young students they wanted. No, sir, please spare and come to the PhD section. What is this PhD in architecture section? We are having exam conduct. So I went there. I just was interacting with those. The professors were all sitting there. There were quite a few students, and open to all of them. They were discussing some project. We want you to be sitting and watching. I mean, please interact with us. So I found this 3-4 boys and girls sitting there, battalion of professors on the other side. They were clapping to me. They were discussing the project for almost 45 minutes to 1 hour. Then they said, sir, don't you think she has done great production? I said, do you want my opinion or why do you? I just enjoy listening to this. No, sir, we want to know what you think of it. Believe it or not. I said, honestly. I said, you have not taught them properly. The young boy and the girl looked at me and said, but we have worked 2 years on this. Yes. Have you looked beyond your circumstance? Have you looked beyond the geographics? Have you looked at the contours? Have you looked at this is the underpath, this is the line, this is where the car goes, this is where the pedestrians. I said, what happens if the rain floods comes from that side? No, sir, we never thought of it. I said, 2 years here, it takes me 2 minutes. I've been sitting with you, and I tell you, you're not thought of it. Immediately they said, you're not. See, this is what is happening. We should get the architect should get involved in master planning, super planning, even the small drains and things. Look at the drain. It is only now the government of Karnataka has realized the water must get into the soil, not flow out to the soil. And the drain should not just drain, it should come into the lakes, into the ponds, and should not allow. Finally, they're saying open wells are superior to bore wells, which we have been shouting and shouting and shouting. Don't dig bore wells, dig wild wells and clean water. If you want to prevent algae formation, there are many ways of preventing the algae formation. Another thing, some algae is good, some algae is bad. That's the environmental sciences. That's why my great friend who is 85 years old, we both meet literally every second day to talk about the environment, the species, the management, the underwater. The future is unbelievable. You people should be bold enough to take the directions, but economically it will be tough. Let me be very honest with you. My first few years of practice, I survived because my wife worked, and she worked in support. And then, because I grew up in my practice of thing, she was a very senior professional officer in some like IAS and SBI. She resigned, said, no, now I'm taking over, looking after your farm, your reason. But the climb is very, very, very thin because an architectural going up is not like any other profession. Every bit in detail has to be done and understood. Then created and built for somebody else. That's somebody else's confidence. It's very easy to build a huge firm. It is not worth it. Architecture is an individualistic profession. It is personal. You are the only profession is individual. Not even a dancer. Dancer needs some Gatha Mandal going around. My cousin Sudha would get angry with me on this. And she'll say, oh, I said, you need somebody to beat the drums. I do. I'm alone. I need to come and work with my clients or any other body to work with. Then it is an amazing profession that you should start looking at and working at many, many places. Now, I would rather interact and think, which is what I would like to do if you have any question. I'm telling all the parents and old people, don't worry about it. It's a little difficult in the beginning. Give them soft support, not too much support. Don't make them very comfortable. Give them very soft support. You will find them climbing up. And amazing. We were talking, education is a huge thing. People think there are too many schools of architecture, 700 schools. No, we need 7,000 schools of architecture, not 700. Only then we will touch every core and aspect of architecture in this subcontinent alone, living, going abroad. I'm touching another. Why is it that some of the architects from abroad come and succeed here? Because they draw clean, put neat drawings, put something which we are not to do. And they come and present, great presentations, and your politicians like it, businessmen like it. We can do much, much better. I spent 4 or 5 years abroad. I realized our architecture is far, far more superior than anything in the world. I met the topmost architects in the world in international conference. After the evening, I have dinner with them. I just take a pad and sketch, and they sketch. They don't have any imagination. I'm talking about topmost architects of the world, not just a second level, top. Don't worry, we are way, way above because we have 5,000, 7,000, 10,000 years of architecture is in our heads, in our lifetime plot. That is what the subcontinent is made. That subcontinent is the future. And we should bring back a direction to this profession boldly and with a very, in any direction, any sphere of human activity is architecture. Architecture is human activity. Spiritual thinking, philosophical thinking. Some of the top philosophers today are architects. You go and sit with them quietly. I won't say which ashram. I go and sometimes sit in the ashram. And sit, so you look a little bit. I said, yes, I was an architect. I dropped out in the 3rd year, 4th year. I joined spirituality. Unbelievable. I wish you all a fascinating future in this direction. I would love to interact if there are questions and answers. Thanks. Go ahead. Thank you very much for coordinating. Hope taking me on a journey.
My pleasure, sir. Would the students like to ask any questions?
Hiranmay, if you permit me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Dear friends, what I'd like to mention over here that we also have 12 students from the autonomous batch who are the part of this farewell function. We have Rakshit, Reshma, Nishit, Meghna, Ruchna, Akhil, Priyanka, Aditi, Eshwar, and Vijayalakshmi also, who have also graduated and they are formally part of this particular function. So I welcome them also to this function, and I also welcome their parents also. So again, congratulate to my autonomous students also for having graduated successfully from the campus of RVCA, and also congratulate their parents also. Yeah, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Jasim sir, for your inspirational words. Your association with RVCA and the constant encouragement you provide for our initiatives is treasured. It has been and always will be a great honor having you with us. Thank you so much.
Professor Jasim is willing to take
A few questions, yeah.
The students having to ask him. Please feel free to interact. Yeah.
Do we have any questions from the students?
Anything, any sphere, not necessarily in architecture, anything which I have journeyed through at the happiest future. I live in nowadays senior citizen.
All right. I think they're quite overwhelmed right now. So let us now hear a few words of wisdom from the faculty of RVCA. I would like to request Professors Paniram Pingali, Professor Anuradha Dinesha, and Professor B.P. Sridhar Murthy to say a few words to the batch of 2020 as well as the autonomous batch. Sir, Paniram sir.
Hi.
Sir, you're audible.
Thank you. Warm greetings to everyone present in this gathering. I'm sure you're still digesting the input given by Professor Jason. I'm still doing that myself, actually. Hearty congratulations on behalf of all the faculty of RVCA to all the students on the successful completion of this course. You had worked hard to join this prestigious college, and you worked harder in the last few years to complete it. You're now equipped with the long-awaited proof that you can get on with the real act and also join the brotherhood of the senior architects before you. The memories of the last few years in the college, I'm sure, abound. Memories involving the faculty, your family, your friends, and others who had contributed to your arrival here today. All these memories have made you who and what you are today. There are some of these good memories, some bad ones, and then the ugly ones. I'm sure each one of you possesses all these. And I am also sure that you are wise enough to retain the good ones, forget the bad ones, and discard the ugly ones. You're also the elite alumni of the first VTU batch from RVCA after the distinction of the autonomous status. This is the 2015 and 21 batch. So RVCA is presently preparing to get accreditation from NAC, the National Assessment and Accreditation Council. And in this process, the contribution from your batch is important and significant. I hope that when our faculty and our office contact you in the future pertaining to your experience, your records, your data, some of that you possess, you provide your responses in a speedy and suitable time frame to us. This will be of immense help to the college in the accreditation process. We thank you in advance and anticipation for your contribution in this regard. Some of you may be anxious about what lies ahead. To these students, I will bring up here 3 ideas given by Bruno Mirchevsky, who calls himself on his blogs as the logician. The first one, you don't predict the future, you create it. The second one, what comes next is unpredictable, but what you do now is. And the third idea, your actions today determine your life tomorrow, so choose wisely. So, with the final quote from Shakespeare, from Macbeth, on what beholds the future, and I quote, "If you look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then unto me." From Macbeth, Act 1, Scene 3. With these small few words, I wish you well from all of us to all of you on your exciting journey ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anuradha ma'am.
Good morning to one and all, dear students and parents. First of all, I would like to congratulate all of you on successfully having completed your final thesis project in very difficult circumstances, the COVID pandemic. In these 5+ years, you would have come to understand yourselves and your design aspirations. Some of you might have started working in design practices, and some of you might have started your own design practice. Others, as mentioned earlier, have continued to learn further the varied different aspects that make the human world. I hope that you will continue to keep learning by doing or studying in a formal environment and learning to integrate the design process, aspects of design process, the idea of context in place, time and space, and the people involved, which can and which would be applied and used almost anywhere to study and understand. Enjoy your journey. Do keep in touch with your alma mater, as mentioned by Paniram and all of us. We would be interested to know what is happening. And best wishes once again. My thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Sridhar sir.
Good morning, one and all. At the very outset, I thank organizers for having given me this opportunity to say a few words on this occasion. I made a pact with myself that I wouldn't be boring you for too long. You have heard an eloquent speaker like Professor Jaisim, so I'm not going to be speaking to you for long. However, I'm going to give you certain other points. Point number one, changes are inevitable and it happens quite regularly. They say it is in the midst of change we often discover a wing we never knew we had. We have to adapt to the change. There is no choice. Point number two, keep yourself acquainted with the latest developments in the digital world. Point number three, preparations are very, very important. I'm now being reminded of one incident. Once Sir M. Vishweshwaraya was traveling in Kolar and he was being asked to speak to young school-going children. And he said it is a very impressionable age. I'm not going to be speaking to them right away. I will certainly come back and I will speak to them after a week. He came prepared and he did speak to the children. So preparation is very, very vital. Please prepare yourself and please give importance to smaller details. The fourth point that I would like to say is constantly do a dispassionate audit on yourself. Set targets, constantly do an audit, find out, analyze yourself, find out where improvements are required. Perhaps that's going to help you in the very long run. Point number five, experiences are bound to happen. You are going to get the good and the bad experiences in life. I think it is the bad experiences which teach us more than the good ones. So please be calm and composed. You're all extremely smart people. I'm sure that you will be able to negotiate any situation. The last but not the least, for heaven's sake, don't lose the child in you. It is the child in you which will always diffuse a very anxious situation. And I, on this occasion, congratulate one and all for having completed a very important milestone in your life. May God be with you in all your future endeavor. All the very best to all of you. And again, thank the organizers for having given me this opportunity to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear professors. We would now like to also ask and hear from our dear students. I now welcome Disha Dharesh, Madhuri Sharma, and Shreya S. from the VTU batch, as well as Aditi Sridhar from Autonomous batch to say a few words. You can follow the same order. Disha, we start with you.
Good morning, everyone, distinguished guests, our beloved principal, professors, family, friends, and fellow graduates. My name is Disha Dharesh, batch 2015. It is an honor to be speaking with you all today here. Once again, batch 2015, congratulations. We graduated through a global pandemic between lockdowns and online classes. All the odds were against us, but we still did it. I believe we are strong as a unit. Look how we, collectively made this event happen. Kudos to that, really, kudos. Writing the speech was much harder than writing my thesis. I mean, how do you put 5 years in few minutes? But I think this is not the end or beginning, but a part of something big and large. Looking back, I don't see me designing in some corner or cracking a problem, but I see us in plenty of scenarios. Say North India and South India tour, which bonded us, working hard for our exhibitions, getting to know seniors and juniors, night outs to finish our group works, working hard and, mass bunks, getting royally scolded for, not good works or incomplete works, fights and arguments, democratically voting on WhatsApp, group studying before the day of exam. Some were good, some were unpleasant, but that's okay. I thank all my batchmates for these memories and friendships. Coming particularly to my class, Section A, I love you all. talented, cool, chilling, and peaceful people. I've picked a lot of soft skills from you guys. Thank you for that. There was good and healthy competition, but not against us or others, but within ourselves and our work. Across the class, you ask for anyone any help, and they would lend you a hand. There was no hesitation for sharing ideas or works. I will always remember how easy and fun it was to have peer discussions and crits among us. Thank you, classmates, for making it light and free. Having been in this campus for 5 years, I don't want to miss on few of the spaces, and I want to thank them. To our slanting north glass windows, thank you for giving us wide views. Thank you for, pushing us to notice seasonal changes. To our long corridors for making way for our juries, making space to scatter our sheets, do our last minute touches. To our twin slow lips helping us carry our huge models. Multiple staircases and entrances. Really, you helped us escape from college classes and teachers. To library first floor, it was our hide of space. To AC auditorium for comfy little naps during class. To canteen for helping us gather, feed us. Sunny cones to chit chat. Last but not the least, MPH and OAT for all the cultural events we had during day and night. Thank you again, these spaces, for existing. Between all these, I think we can't forget our lovely professors and faculties. Really, you have inspired us to, think and explore beyond architecture. You have taught us, you have nourished us, you have guided us, tolerated us, sometimes, even spoon-fed us. You have been hard on us when it was required. I think without your loving belief, support, and spirit, we wouldn't have been here today. We are really grateful. Special thanks to all the staffs, computer lab, library, office, service lab, security, and stationery booth for all the care, protection, and affection. Lastly, I would conclude by saying that, all the lovely souls that have directly or indirectly contributed and have been a part of our journey. Hope you all stay healthy and hope you all find strength to achieve what your inner voice is saying and get to enrich your thoughts and your works. Thank you. Happy journey, all of you guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Disha. Madhuri?
Yeah. Good morning, everybody, all my friends, teachers, family, and all the friends and teachers who have now become family. It's been a while since we all saw each other. We were the batch who returned from our internships, hoping to spend the last semester in college, like, to relive the college life. But unfortunately, the pandemic hit. It was a confusing period because we didn't even get to say goodbye to each other properly. But I'm glad we're here today and tomorrow to relive these memories for just a bit. And it's been 6 years since the first day of college. We walked in all young and enthusiastic and clueless about what was going to hit us. And I remember my first ever class was a combined B2C basic design class. It was a very chaotic, bubbly, and curious, and a generally happy class. There was something very raw in all the energies we carried around in the first year. A mad, jumpy one that we just wanted to make things together. This energy evolved over the years, took several highs and lows, but with over all the years with each other, we united as a batch, made deep friendships, fought a bit, fought a lot over group works and about silly things, thought a bit about this farewell. There's a lot we did together, which I think makes it more valuable. RV's exposure to architecture has been enriching and diverse enough to find our niches. I remember on the first week of college, Professor Seema Maya told me not to pounce or consume anything and everything I see, to take my time, to chew things, to absorb it well, and then form my opinions. Our college has provided a nice base and a network to do that. We had some of the best architects in the city to come and teach us, and it was a privilege to absorb all the small and big things that we've been taught. Even some of the things like the electives, which should have easily been sidelined, we had some of the most fascinating topics and teachers who showed us different worlds within this world of architecture. simplified their enthusiasm. I have to thank our college for creating this space and inviting some of these people who could inspire us, even for our juries and discussions and events. As first year minions, we help a lot of our seniors through their last minute juries and their exhibitions in exchange for a bit of ragging and a lifelong friendship. And I like how the tradition has carried on and we have that relationship with our juniors now. Hearts were broken, meals were shared, groups were made and remade like Rubik's cubes. Uh, some of the best times in college has undoubtedly been the exhibition, especially the one we hosted. Special shout out to the OAT committee because they spent all night and a few days of the week before the exhibition to put up a pavilion, but they took it down on the last day. Uh, and some of the paintings that was once in college, they're now replaced by others. And it's a strange but a very nice feeling to think that the college transforms every year physically. All the trips we've been on, the longer North India and the South India tours, uh, even the ones that were shorter, the BD study trips, all of this felt really good because we were in it together. And like special mention to Ratna, who always made all of these things happen almost effortlessly. And it's hard to condense all the best things that we've seen in these 5 years. And some days it was not the best, like, and as horrible as some of those days felt, maybe it was a little better because we were all in it together. Some of the jurors have been legendary in like how critical they've been and how probably brutal they've been. But in hindsight, I think that's all shaped us to become better people. Another thing that I think I was personally attached to was being part of the Journey Shared, which was a college platform to share conversations, art, movies, and more. It wasn't the best of successes, but I'm glad we had teachers like Madhuri Rao who kept pushing us and the juniors to take it forward and to see where it goes and to let it grow organically. Um, some of the teachers we've been mentored in college believed in us more than we did and pushed us to explore new boundaries all the time. This college education and experience would have been so inadequate without some of these brilliant teachers coming together and working with us. It's been a while since anyone got caught yawning in BPS Sir's class. I wish the best of luck for the next one. A lot of us didn't know what we signed up when we chose architecture. Many of us today may not be practicing in this particular field anymore. But somewhere, I think, because the college pushed us towards design and towards critical thinking, we have been able to find our feet. We as a batch have grown together, dreamt together, and celebrated the tiny things together. And I hope we always carry with us spirits of hope and faith that a poetic life of exploring possibilities lies ahead of us. And I miss college, all the staff, the campus, seniors, juniors, dogs, stationery shop, printing, and all of that that came with college life. But I suppose one must move on from one chapter to see what other beautiful things lie ahead of us. And as BPS sir just said, I hope we all retain the children within us. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhuri. Shreya?
Hi guys. I think Disha and Madhuri has covered most of it. I'll try to keep my uh, speech as concise as possible. First of all, congratulations, guys. We've made it through the initial excitements and then fun to tedious site visits. By the end of our urban design semester, we were able to guide other people through the every spaces in that area. Like our class did it for Malleshwaram, like the Malleshwaram map is ingrained in our brains now. And we also enjoyed the process. Some of the fun process that I would like to bring about now is how we came up with song for our AD class, how we used to watch movies like Bahubali, Aladdin, shows like Flintstones to uh, redesign their cities. The best part was the madness of the night before the submission, and also during our juries, the last minute works and few naps under the studio tables, and also sometimes tears after the crit and laughs in between. Some of the memorable memories are the small things like playing cricket in between classes. And the best memories were the batch trips and the class trips. We have finally gathered, um, and we are graduating with lot of best experiences and memories. I'd like to specially thank all the faculty, the teaching, non-teaching, all the faculty for all the efforts you took uh, for our betterment. With all its ups and downs, it was a great process. We have learned something from each experience and from each other as well. Like we have learned from all peers as well. Um, and we have evolved as better humans, and better architects would just be a byproduct of it. I would like to call, we have all, in this 5 years, we have all improved as better humans. Uh, and some of us may not even practice architecture as their main practice, but still, whatever we have learned here in this 5 years will definitely be used in whatever field we pursue in. Uh, I would like to say this was our home for 5 years, and quite literally home for people who stayed in and near the campus. Chikke was like our place, and the batch of 2020 and everybody interacting with us, the faculty, the seniors, the juniors, we were all like family, and exhibitions and other events were like our family gatherings. Could never forget those. We'll definitely miss all of those. Though we are graduating from college today, our bond with college will never end. And in future, whenever we use the term RVCA, we would be using the term my college or our college. So that's the bond we share. That's the bond every student shares with their college. So this doesn't happen in any other organization with any other position. It's just the students who hold this privilege of calling my college or our college even after graduating. Um, though few parts of the college might forget us, like as uh, Madhuri was mentioning, the walls being repainted and all of it, but batch of 2020 will never forget the college and the best chunk of our life lived here. I really wish to meet all of you guys in person, and thank you for being part of this journey. As I've started a new journey in a new place, I wouldn't be able to attend tomorrow's events, but I miss all of you a lot. Um, Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to you guys. And once again, congratulations, guys. We made it through the course, and all the best for all your future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shreya. Can we have Aditi Sridhar from the autonomous batch?
I think she perhaps dropped out.
Is it? Okay.
Okay.
All right, then we will move on to the next portion.
I think
where-
Rakshit may join, but he requires 5 minutes. So you continue the program.
Okay. We would now like to present the certificates of course completion to the graduating students of 2020 as well as the autonomous batch. I request the audience to applaud the achievement of each of our students. Gautam? Congratulations, Likith, Krishnam, Jyotsna Nag, Ratnachandra Tummala, Abhinav, Abu Bakr Sheikh, Aditi Singh Solanki, Aishwarya Patil, Akash Roger, Akila Jayashankar, Sai Kirtana, Darshan R, Diksha, Deepika V, Devaki Kesh, Disha Dharesh, Disha NR, Komali Reddy, Gayatri Ganesh, Gayatri Vijay Kumar, Nanasthita Mallidi, Gursimar Singh, H.M. Sahana, Harshita A, Akhila Rao, Iti Singh Dio, Kirti Jithuri, Joel Zakaria, Hemant KV, Karan Hasija, Kaushal MY, Kirtana S. Murthy, Kirtan Shekhar, Ajay Arvind, Kiranmai Kotapalli, Lakshmi Narayanan, Madhuri Sharma, Vishal Kumar Patil, Melvin Babu Joseph, Monal Mathu, Mrinalini Anand, Mrinalini Bangalore Mahesh, NSS Akhil, Namita Gurumurthy, Naresh S, Neha Harish, Nikhil U. Raikar, Nikhila Cherugattu, Niriksha R. Kadur, Venkata Sai Sumant, Parth Agrawal, Pravani Pagadala, Richa Bhasin, Roshni, Sachin S. Gola, Sadhvi Sridhar, Sahana S, Sai Kavyashri, Salila D, Saloni Choradia, Sri Harsha Samineni, Shabnam AK, Shashank S, Sheetal Mishra, Shravya A.G., Shravya Murlidhar, Shreya Nambiar, Shreya Rao, Shreya S., Shreza Suleve, Shruti Sundar, Simran Vora, Sindhu C., Smriti Jha, Sneham Pandey, Shriram J. Soni, Tarini Kaul, Tamanna Dudhoria, Tota Hemant, Tushar Abraham Joshi, Uday Malhotra, V. Amini, Vaibhav Shailesh Nayak, Vaishnavi Chandrakumar, Vandana Shekhar, Vibha SP, Vinamra Agarwal, Vion Wills, Darshana Narayana Bharati, Aishwarya Shivkumar, Ramkrishna S. We also congratulate the autonomous batch students. Chirag Kumar, Abhishek Chandra, Harshit RC, Meghna GJ, Reshma R, Aditi Sridhar, Aishwarya Saravanan, Akhil BR, Harshita R,
No, is possible. Okay, fine.
G.
Fine, okay.
Kavya,
Try again.
Vivek Bhargav, Nishchita KR, Priyanka C, Raman J, S. Sudarshini, Vijay Lakshmi K, Vishwesh, Ishwar Gonugunta, Deepa S, Rakshit Reddy, Siddharth Raj, Rochna Ramkrishna, Manya C, yeah, thank you. Congratulations to each one of you On behalf of RBCA, I wish you all great success in your future endeavors. As we come to the end of the ceremony, I invite our Dean, Professor Suresh K. Murthy, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
I think one of the autonomous students wanted to talk.
Speak? Okay.
He's got probably connected. Any of the autonomous students want to share their experience? Just wait for a minute and then I'll conclude. Any of the autonomous students want to share an experience? Rakshit, are you there?
Yeah, he's there. Can you unmute yourself, Rakshit?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody. So my experience in RV College was actually really fun. I still remember the time from first semesters when teachers were very supportive, though I was finding it really difficult. Teachers I still remember they used to ask us to zoom in and zoom out of leaves. So on all those things, and they asked us to design spaces where you feel emotions. So where emotions were the main part of the design problems. So after that, then we moved on to little more complex things. Teachers are really very helpful. Some of them were Suresh Murthy sir, and the principal also was really helpful. He guided us through many things like how we can move forward with the new rules and everything. And uh, teachers are very supportive. Our seniors also were very supportive. And hostel was an entire part of fun, different. I loved the hostel there. The food, in the beginning, honestly speaking, in the beginning it was not good, but then after a little bit of complaining and here and there, then yes, principals have got it managed and everything was sorted out. So overall, it was really fun, ma'am. It was the college experience was really good. And since it being a new campus, in the beginning it was really hard and it was really difficult to find where the toilets were actually. And then everything slowly fell into place and everything was really fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Rakshit. It was kind of you. Sir, over to you.
Yeah, good morning, all my enterprising students. I feel honored and privileged to get this opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this very special day for the graduating students of 2014-15 to 2020 batch, comprising both of the VTU scheme as well as the RVCE autonomous scheme batch. Every moment comes to an end, and every special one as well, and this occasion is not an exception to that. We part temporarily to rejoin in our journey of life, and I hope we have given you sufficient foundation to take your life further up in a most entertaining way. Today, you guys will take home all the memories of the best time you spent in the college. I hope all of you will always remember and cherish the memories created over the years. Those fun during the lectures in the canteen, cutting discussions across the chai. I think for the autonomous batch of the Vasant's canteen, which we no longer seem to enjoy here. Those amazing teachers, who knew that those moments would become memories in the future? Now, first and foremost, I would like to thank our chief guest and the keynote speaker, Architect Professor Krishna Rao Jaisim from Jaisim Fountainhead, for sharing his experience, vision, and enlightening thoughts to the students. Thanks for carving your time, sir, from your busy schedule. Next, I wish to thank all the volunteering students from both the VTU and the autonomous scheme who gave a testimony of their experiences and feelings for 5 years of association with the alma mater, RV College of Architecture. I also wish to thank all the students who could not join us today, but many of them would be there tomorrow due to some or the other reasons. I would like to sincerely thank all parents who supported their wards as well as the alma mater throughout this journey and could also be part of this program or otherwise. I would like to thank our dear principal, Dr. O.P. Bhavane, for his support, vision, and our management, Rashtriya Shikshana Samiti Trust, for their support for this event as well as throughout our journey. Thanks to our faculty organizing team comprising of Shweta P, Hiranmayi, Gautam Nandakumar, Sanjeev and Girish Kumar P. Thanks to all our office staff, office manager, campus engineer, housekeeping staff, etc. for providing us the required support to make this occasion available and also extending their support for tomorrow's event. I'd like to thank Ruchi Sagar, our caterer, for providing us the refreshments and lunch and also keeping us receptive throughout this event. I thank everyone else for their full involvement and their willingness to lend helping hand for the success of this event. I'm sure we are all better enlightened with improved knowledge and wisdom throughout our journey and hope to carry on the outcome of the 5 years of our learning and cherished experience in our lives and for professional growth. In the end, I will take a moment and thank all those amazing students who could be here as well as couldn't be here for this function. I wish you all great success in your future. I request all graduating students to be connected to us through our Alumni Connect program, which is growing in strength. We envisage this backward integration will provide us great strength to move forward on our institutional motto, go change the world. Thank you, one and all. I would like to see all of you tomorrow in your physical presence at the college premises. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. The students are requesting to share a video with us. Kindly go ahead. All right. Okay. I hear the video is quite long, so we would officially end the program here. I would like to remind the students of both VTU and the autonomous batch for the scheduled photo shoot on Saturday, that is tomorrow, 9th October at 9 a.m. We look forward to seeing you all. Kindly ensure to follow COVID protocols while on campus. Have a good day. Thank you. The students may share the video. Those who are willing to be part of it can remain on this.
I will be sharing the video, and the students, like who are willing to see the video, can continue.
Thank you, Gautam.
While the video begins, I would also like to mention a special thanks to Vishal. He was very instrumental in today happening, and he's very enthusiastically been working for today and tomorrow. So just a special mention to him.
Thank you, Vishal.
Thank you, Madhuri, for mentioning it.
Black Beatles in the city, be back immediately to confiscate the monies. Fresh ground. Wow. My will. Sent flowers, but you said you didn't receive. That girl is a real crowd, please. Small world, all her friends know of me. fall slowly. Frat girl still trying to get in. Haters mad for whatever reason. Smoke in the air, binge drinking. They lose it when the DJ drops the knee.
I stay loose, I stay high, I stay loose, I stay high, I stay loose, I stay high. I could do this all night, 'cause I do.
ये दोस्ती हम नहीं तोड़ेंगे, तोड़ेंगे दम मगर तेरा साथ ना छोड़ेंगे।
Going to the jeweler, bust the AP, yeah. Sliding on the water like a jet ski, yeah. I'm tryna fuck you and your bestie, yeah. Chop up with this girl, so do not test me, yeah. Ric Flair drip, go woo on a bitch. 5790, spit the coupe on my wrist. Multi-million-dollar, I'm a fool with the hits. Hop up in the lemon, drop the roof, show the tits. Poppin', but you really not gon' shoot. 90 pointers, time my diamond like hula hoops. Hoppin' moppin', take her in the seat, it's on my suit. Balenciaga, check my purse, Valentino boots. Woman out of way, a lot of them, a lot of ways. Never hesitate to give a nigga yellow tape. Ain't worry about the bag, cause the cash accumulate. Soon as we come in the game, all these niggas they imitate. Put my mind on it, then I put my grind on it. Put the iron on them if a nigga my opponent. My code 500, I don't put no miles on it. I was running wild, homie, with 500,000 on me. Going to the jeweler, bust the AP, yeah. Sliding on the water like a jet ski, yeah. I'm tryna fuck you and your bestie, yeah. Jump up with this girl, so do not test me, yeah. Ric Flair drip, go woo on a bitch. 5790, spit the coupe on my wrist. Multi-million-dollar, I'm a fool with the hits. Hop up in the lemon, drop the roof, show the tits. Told my finger, got the game with me. Bought my purple ticket, got some rain on it. Nigga, we used to kick it, how you hang on me? Hop in the Bentley coupe and blow the brains out of it. We not the same, my nigga, we funding off the business. And with your brain, yeah, we bought you like it's an auction, ain't it? Get the chopper, 100 round total, like it's a taco list. I mean, it's your man that told the means I had to get it.
I'm a classic man. You can be me when you look this clean. I'm a classic man. Calling on me like a young OG. I'm a classic man. Your knees get met by the street, elegant, old-fashioned man. Yeah, baby, I'm a classic man. रब ने बनाया, अंधा सोना क्यों रब ने बनाया।
कौड़ी प्यार सीखता तैनू जान
गहरे समंदर पे मेरा जी आए
Damdare, 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 damda, damdare, dam, damdare, dare, dam, 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 damdare, 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 damda, damdare, dam, damdare, dare, dam, dam, dam. ಕಥೆಯೊಂದ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಬರಿ ಗುರುತುಗಳೇ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಿನ ಬೆಂಚಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರಿಡಾರ್ ವಾಲಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಲದೆ ಗುರುತೊಂದನು ನಾ ಗೀಚಿದೆ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಶಿಪ್ಪಿನ ನೆಪದಲ್ಲಿ. ದಮ್ದರೆ 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 ದಮ್ದ ದಮ್ದರೆ ದಮ್ದರೆ ದರೆ ದಮ್ ದಮ್ ದಮ್. ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲೆರಡು ಕ್ಲಾಸು ಮಾಸ್ ಬಂಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾರ್ಟೇಜು ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಸಿ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂಕೆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣೆ. ರಿವಾಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೆರಡು ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗೋದು ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ನನ್ನಾಣೆ. ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲೆರಡು ಕ್ಲಾಸು ಮಾಸ್ ಬಂಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾರ್ಟೇಜು ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಸಿ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂಕೆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣೆ. ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೆರಡು ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗೋದು ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ನನ್ನಾಣೆ. ದಮ್ದರೆ 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 ದಮ್ದ ದಮ್ದರೆ ದಮ್ದರೆ ದರೆ ದಮ್ ದಮ್ ದಮ್. ಬರಿ ಗುರುತುಗಳೇ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ, ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಿನ ಬೆಂಚಲ್ಲಿ, ಕಾರಿಡಾರ್ ಕಾಲಲ್ಲಿ. ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಕತೆ ಪುಟದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನಗೊಂದೇ ಹೆಸರಿದೆ. ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಜಗಳ ಕಾಮನ್ ಅಲ್ಲವೇ. ಕಾಂಪ್ರೋ ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತರಿದುಕೋ ಒಗ್ಗಟ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಬಲವಿದೆ. ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಕಾಸಿಗೆ ಒಂದೆರಡು ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಕು ನೀನು ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು. ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಲೈಫ್ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕು, ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈಟ್ ಒಂದು ಬರೆದಾಕು. ದಮ್ದರೆ 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 ದಮ್ದ ದಮ್ದರೆ ದಮ್ದರೆ ದರೆ ದಮ್ ದಮ್ ದಮ್. लाख कोई दे हुंकारे, लाख कोई धमकारे. हम तेरी राहों पे चलते, हम नहीं रुकने वाले. मेरा तेरा देवों का देवता, माता देवा देवों का देवता. रुकने ना सके, झुकने ना देगा.
तेरी यारी चलवाना इस बारी सारी मेरी फिक्री तेरी आ गई या के हारी
यारी तेरी यारी चल माना इस बारी सारी मेरी फिक्रें तेरे आगे आके हारी बह लगी मुझको तेरी बीमारी
इस बेढंगी दुनिया के संगी हम न होते यारा अपनी तो यारी अतरंगी है रे कर बेरंगी शामें हुड़दंगी मस्त मलंगी यारा अपनी तो यारी अतरंगी है रे अतरंगी रे ठहरा तू हर मोड़ पर हो यारा मेरे लिए भूला तू खुद की डगर हो यारा
मेरे लिए हर कदम संग चली तेरी यारी
इस बेढंगी दुनिया के संगी हम न होते यारा अपनी तो यारी अतरंगी है रे कर बेरंगी शामें हुड़दंगी मस्त मलंगी यारा अपनी तो यारी अतरंगी है रे अतरंगी रे
यारी तेरी यारी चल माना इस बारी सारी मेरी फिक्रें तेरे आगे आके हारी बह लगी मुझको तेरी बीमारी यारी तेरी यारी चल माना इस बारी
अच्छा ಆ ಥರನಾ
Thank you, students. That was beautifully composed. See you all tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Congratulations. See you all
Thank you, ma'am.
tomorrow.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
you all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
See you in the campus tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Time. Yeah.
Thank you. Nice to see you, Shreya.